So, those of you who are regular watchers, viewers, followers of my YouTube channel, and there are a few of you out there, I do know that, you will probably have noticed I haven't been posting anything in the last 2 weeks, whereas I'm usually posting 25 videos a month. So, that's a definite drop off. The reason is because, as I explained in my last video from 2 weeks ago, I am just in the final stages of writing and completing my book on how to be evangelical and gay affirming. And when I get to this point in a writing project, I really focus in, become somewhat obsessed on completing the project as quickly as possible. And what that has meant is that apart from my day job, I'm using all my extra time to really write this book. I mean, I'm going out once a week to the pub with friends, and my wife and I have a dinner out maybe once a week, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm writing this book to finish it. And I just printed off the draft of the manuscript yesterday. So it's about 48,000 words, The Wideness of the Sea, How to Be Evangelical and Gay Affirming. And there's a reasonable expectation that this book will be available for sale by the end of October. So please support it if you support what I do. And even if you don't support what I do, still buy the book and let other people know about it. Now, I wanted to just give you an update on the covers and actually to solicit some feedback from you on the covers. I'm going to show you two of four covers that my friend Daryl, who does all my covers, sent to me as possibilities. And I've of the four, I asked some friends to give feedback, and I'm going based upon their feedback with two of the four covers as possibilities. I want you to look at them. So these are the two covers. First of all, I want to note a comment that one of my friends shared with me. He said, "My critique would be that I would by the way, this fellow is himself affirming, very much so. But he says, my critique would be that I would prefer if there were no humans on the cover for a couple of reasons. More conservative evangelicals who want to read your book probably don't want images of gay humans on the cover. It will freak them out or make them embarrassed or ashamed to be toting the book around. Putting humans on the covers feels like a distraction." And then he goes on from there. And I think that's a very insightful point. And I think it actually itself is indicative of the problem. People would be uncomfortable to see quote unquote gay humans on the cover of the book. With that in mind, I don't want to limit the potential audience of the book. So, what I'm thinking about and what I'm going to request from Daryl in terms of cover design is to redo both of these covers, but instead of having two people, two presumably males in each book cover, I'm going to ask for one silhouette centered in each cover, one on the beach and one on that jetty or dock. And what I'm asking from you is based upon that description of both of these covers, one each of them with one silhouetted human being on the cover. What do you think of between these two? Which do you prefer more as the cover for the book? I'm actually torn. I'm kind of going between one and then the other. Now, the value of this thematically of the image is the wideness of the sea. First of all, just to let you know, as I explained in the book, this is actually a callback to an essay written by the evangelical ethicist Lewis Smedes in 1999, where he proposed, as an evangelical ethicist writing 26 years ago, for inclusion of gays into Christian community and of gays in covenanted relationships into Christian evangelical communities. And he argued an interesting case for that. And I first read Smead's essay about 25 years ago, and I never forgot it. As I'm writing this book 25 years later, I'm acknowledging his essay like the wideness of the sea in the title of my book, The Wideness of the Sea. And that's the reason for the title. But more broadly, the reason for the title thematically is to appreciate the breadth and depth of God's kingdom. And as we look forward into how to understand and encompass and embrace all people, it is like standing on the shoreline and encompassing the love and inclusive nature of God is like contemplating the wideness of the sea. And so each individual, thematically standing on the shoreline, looking out at the horizon, is going to be like that person coming to terms with the possibility, at the very least, of an inclusive embrace of the gay community within the evangelical Christian community. So that's kind of the idea behind the book cover. So, with that in mind, I'm going to now invite you to share your comments below. Between these two covers, each with envisioning one silhouetted human being on the cover, which one would you think would be the best way to go? I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks, and certainly I'm hoping by the end of the month, the book should be available. So be sure to get your own copy and let other people know about it.